Hi, this is Edward Troxel. In today's tutorial, we're going to look at compatibility and how we can make our scripts compatible with as many versions of Vegas as possible. Most of my scripts I've made are compatible with version 14 and newer. That's because when 14 was released, that's when they changed the using to script portal. And so we need to make the script portal as the using line for 14 and newer. But there are some other changes that happen in later versions. And we're going to take a look at that here and see what we can do to even make the compatibility with older versions as well as the newer versions. So let's take a look at this code. Here's the code that we've been using to add a titles and text to the timeline. And if I go to Vegas Pro 21 and run this, you will see that it does add the titles and text to the time code. So basically what it does is it says, let's get the first video track, the track 0. We're going to assume that it's a video track. And then this is the user ID that we're looking for, and we're looking for Vegas Creative Software titles and text. We set the plugin variable to null, and then we get the plugin by doing the get child by unique ID. And then we go through all of the stuff that we've talked about in several of the previous tutorials, in which case we get the media stream, create the new event. We're putting it at the cursor position. This tells it how long to make it. Then we add the new event to the track. Then we get the new take from the stream, and then we add the new take to the event. This isn't really being used for this tutorial, so I'll go ahead and just delete that. So now, if I go in to an older version of Vegas, let's say 16, version 16, and try to run this same script, let's see what happens. Okay, we got an error message. Let's see what was caused the error message. Here we get an object reference was not set to an instance of an object, and so it says the plugin node generator was not set. So let's go back and look at our script. We're actually going to find a couple of things here. First of all, we set our plugin equal to null, and then we told it to change it based on this ID here. Well, apparently it was still equal to null because when it got to this line here, it died. So let's add some more safety to this script by adding in if the plugin is not equal to null, then we are going to go ahead and do the rest of this stuff. So now let's try it again in version 16. And you notice this time it simply did nothing. Now the reason it actually did nothing is because there is no such thing as Vegas Creative Software titles and text in version 16. Versions 14, 15, and 16, that particular effect and most of the other effects were still named Sony Creative Software. And so what we need to do is go in and say, in these three instances, we need to use a different name. So let's look at the code and add in how we can do that. So right here we have our magics, titles, and text. And now we need to put an if statement in here and see if we have one of these older versions. So if myvegas.version.contains a 14, or, now I'm just going to copy this, it contains a 15, or it contains a 16. What do we want to do? Well, let's copy this and put it here. And we are going to change this Vegas right here to Sony. And we'll just go ahead and change the comment as well. then we make sure that we get rid of the string there because we've already defined it here, and so we're just wanting to change it here. And now let's try it again in version 16. And we go back to version 16 and we'll try it again. You will see in this case we did get a titles and text added to the timeline. And then if we go back to version 21, you'll see that it still works there as well. So as you can see, when there are some little minor changes like the name is changing, we can go ahead and just make one version that's compatible with multiple versions of Vegas, even if there are some slight changes between the versions. So in this case, the name changed after version 16. So 17 and newer, we're using the Magic's name, and 14, 15, and 16, we still have to use the Sony name in order to reference that same plugin. So since it was just a little name change, it's easy to just add the exception in the code, and then we can make it compatible with as many versions as possible without needing to have multiple versions of the script on our system. So I hope you find this tutorial useful. Let me know what you'd like to see in the future. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next tutorial. Please sign up at www.jettv.com and subscribe on YouTube to get further notifications on when new videos are presented.